Glad to be back. I'm doing a impromptu live, just tapping in, seeing how you guys are doing, man. It's been a journey. I've been on the road. I have been traveling for like 5 days straight. We got our heads cracked. We lost in the playoffs to a team. We're gonna get into all that. I'm just trying to get my notes together. Had them together, and then I don't have them together. Try to be prepared. You always try to be prepared for the things that you think you're prepared for, and then the time comes and it's like, were you really prepared? That's just something we gotta get. We gotta just be real attentive with ourselves. I hold myself accountable for that. Thought I was prepared 100%. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. But how y'all doing today? I'm feeling great. I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying life right now. You know why? Because I'm doing what I love to do. I get to play basketball. I get to be a great father to my daughter. I get to go after the things that I said that I want in life. I want to change the course of my family. I want to change the course of my life. I want to expand and grow and learn new things. And I feel good about that right now. I feel good in the pursuit of what I'm looking for in this life. I feel good in that pursuit. Uh-oh. My fault, y'all. That was the speaker connected. Let me see if I can go live here on TikTok as well. I said I haven't went live in a while, so I'm gonna go live. Yeah, I haven't went live in a good little while. So I'm about to go live on TikTok and right here. It feels good. It feels good to just come and chop it up with you guys. Now, the topic of what I want to talk about today. First, let me just give y'all a breakdown of what's been going on. We was in the BCL of LA Americas. That's a basketball tournament in South America. We're in the playoffs, playing against a team called Franca, Ceci Franca. They're one of the best teams in all of South America, one of the best teams in Brazil when it comes to basketball. I think one year they didn't lose a game for like 2 years. For like 2 years or something crazy. They was winning everything. They was just holding it down. They was winning everything. But I felt like we had their number. I felt like we were the team, like we matched up well. We played them at our house. We lost to them by 2 points. We lost to them by 2 points. We had the game. We was up for 4 minutes left in the game at home with the ball, and we gave it away. Gave us a chance. They had 2 free throws at the end of the game. They missed both free throws. Gave us a chance to hit the game-winning 3. Drove, kicked to a wide-open shooter. Got everything we wanted. That's just how it be sometimes. He didn't make the shot. We lost the game. We still got 2. We still got one more game. It's the best of 3. We go to their house. We beat them by 10. The game that we needed to win, we won. The game that we needed to win, we won. You know why? Because I feel like we just that team that we have that, we got that grit and we got that grind. It's in us. We're just having other issues that is just stopping us from just like putting it all together. Putting it all together. Now I'm giving you the breakdown. I'm giving the breakdown of the games so you can understand where I'm coming with this whole, like the topic of the sleep. I call it like the sleep paradox. You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's like, why does that happen to most players and athletes? That sleep paradox. After a game, you can't sleep. You just can't sleep. I had to go do some research and just, bring y'all my mindset of what I believe is going on. Like, so we win the third game. We're playing against them in the game 3. It's basically game 3. Whoever wins goes to the Final Four. We're up 6 on the road. One of their starters got kicked out the game. So the game is going in our favor. And if anybody has followed our team or anybody knows basketball, like a savant of basketball, and knows, they know like situations. And the situations that we have is our third quarters in basketball are just not good. I don't know why it's like that, but it's just something internal that we just got to fix. Our third quarters are just not good. They beat us in the third quarter 27 to 7 points. That was the game. That was the game. That was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. We couldn't recover. We could not recover. They're at home. They're in rhythm. They started going crazy. They had a big run. And the game's pretty much over. Brandon is good. Brandon is good. Brandon's my best friend. People who don't know Brandon Robinson, if you follow the team, if you could look him up, just look him up. Google him. If you don't know who he is, Brandon Robinson. My name's Arnold Lewis. Me and him been playing on the same team. We played together in Chile for like 2 years. We made history, and this is the first time he's been playing here in this team, Quimsa in Argentina, and I just got on the team this year. He was playing somewhere else, and we linked back up, and we're playing together. So he's one of the best in all South America, and we've won together, and we're trying to do it again here in Argentina. But even before he got here, our problems was the third quarters. We just have this situation with the third quarter where it just gets the head all messed up, and you just can't think straight, and you just can't focus. You just can't. I don't know what it is. It's like we just lose. I'm gonna call it for what it is. It's coaching. The coaching's got to be better in the third quarter. We got to be able to make adjustments, switch something up, do something different. You know what I mean? Do something different. Anyways, we end up losing the game. We lost the game by like 10. They went on to the Final Four. But I felt good for the team because we fought. And I see the potential that we got to be a good team. I could see the hunger. I see the capability to play with the best in all of South America with the unit that we have and the chemistry that we got, that it is possible. It is possible. I ain't going to go into this. You got to make sure that you are bringing all the energy and the good positive energy to whatever situation that you want in your life. Because there are going to be people, even on your team, even on your squad, even in your circle, that's going to have a negative. They're going to bring their negativity to your place, your environment. Like I don't have my team. I play on a team. I got like a lot of players and people and human beings that I need to have good energy for us to be successful. It's not based off of just one person. It's based on the unit. And when you got your people in your unit that is literally bringing negative energy to the unit, it's like it's one bad apple ruins the whole bag. And that's just sometimes what you got to deal with. Sometimes you just got to deal with those type of people. That's why it's just so important that you keep yourself a super strong, like mentally focused on being positive in all the situations that you're in, because the minute you don't know who is in your circle, who's the bad apple, and sometimes you do, and the way circumstances is, you can't just always just say, well, you're the bad apple, we need to get you up out of here, because it's not dependent on you. It has to be more good forces going against the negative forces of people trying to like just pull you down or bring their like negativity to your team, your situation, the games, just in your vicinity in general. There's so many people like that that's just willing to try to take you, like not even take you down, but they're not gonna have that belief that you have. You know what I mean? The belief. I don't know Roblox. I've never played that. I see it, but I don't really know what Roblox is or any of that situation. I'm over here, we're talking about the game. You know what I'm saying? So After the first game, we lost. I don't believe that I played particularly well because I have high standards for myself. So I'll get into, I didn't sleep. And like most athletes, I know I'm not the only one. A lot of athletes have these same situations where they do not sleep after games, after losses. And I wonder, why is that? For me, I like to ask the question of why certain things are that they are. I read a very interesting book called Limitless, and it was just talking about when you ask the question, you already start formulating the answers that you're looking for, because your brain would just start working and doing. It's like the universe will start giving you the answers that you always ask. You just got to continuously ask the right questions to the things that you want. And you're going to get the answers. The questions are the answers. That's what was said. The questions are the answers. So I'm asking the question, why is it that athletes have a hard time struggling after the game when you're playing? And some of the responses that I found was due to mental replays and over analysis of the game, especially after a loss, is playing in your head 1,000 miles per hour. I remember one time, this was the most cringe and most I want to say difficult, but it was just such a hard night sleeping for me, because I remember we lost the game. I did not play well. I did not have a good game. I was not feeling like, it was just as soon as the ball tipped off, it was like I was just in a fog. And I'm like, why do I feel like that? So after the game, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep till about 6 in the morning. Till like 6 in the morning. And I'm like, you're just replaying all the game, all the missed shots, all the defensive laps. A dude scored on me like 3 times. He had 6 points on me. It felt like he had 20. So I'm replaying that in my head. And I just could remember saying one of the guy's last name, and for some reason the guy's last name was just stuck in my head. And he was over there hitting 3, so I'm just constantly replaying it and replaying it. And like I said, overanalyzing and replaying bad calls, moments where you know you didn't give a good effort or something happened. Like, you go through all these things in your head, and I know I'm just speaking from experience. This is just recently. We had this trip. This has been one of the most, I don't like to say that I'm tired, but I'm gonna say this has been one of the most stressful. It's not stressful, it's part of the life. It's tiring. It is what it is. We played on Tuesday. I didn't sleep. We traveled. I slept maybe 3 hours. Traveled the next day, the next night. Stayed the night, traveled to Brazil on a flight, then took a 7-hour bus ride, then wake up, next day practice, next day game, don't sleep, maybe 3 hours, get up again, game, because we played back to back. Then we traveled, nobody slept. Now we're out of the tournament, so nobody slept. So I'm not even sleeping I haven't slept a good 8 hours since Tuesday. Today's Saturday. Now you got to think about all that time, and that was over a course of 3 games. So you're just up, exerting energy, exerting a lot of, like, putting your body through mental. You're traveling. People don't understand how, like, mentally draining the traveling be. How much it affects your body, and the traveling be just as brutal, more brutal than just the games, because you're going from country to country, bus, airport, bus, hotel, game, practice, game. You're like, man, my shoulder, as soon as you come, you just, everything aching, and where this come from? So the sleep is so vitally important, but you're not getting it because you're mentally replaying all the stuff, the missed shots. You're beating yourself up for everything. You're over, like, how could I have done better? This is the mind's attempt to correct the past. That's crazy. Why? So I ask another question. Why does the mind want to correct the past? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why do I want to correct the past? I believe everybody had the chance to go back to do something. Majority would. 10 minutes from now, you would have had you would have had to have information that could change your life. And if you knew that then, you would want to come back to this moment to know that. So I guess it puts the mind in a certain situation where it just always, it knows. It's really kind of, now that I think about it, it's really kind of a strange, it's the paradox. It makes you wonder what mental state or what your real thought process is, because you're really not accepting reality, because what's gone is gone, what could have been, and what's now is now, to just be 100. But I guess I'm trying to ask the question of what do we do, or how does that come about? What do we do to change that? You know, the mind wants to rewrite the story to find out where it went wrong, but it only leads to an endless loop of frustration. You ever felt like you've been in a loop? You ever just felt like it was just going over and over and over, and you're just stuck in this endless loop of just beating yourself up of, well, if I did this different, if I could have done this right here, man, I wish I had this one moment right here. So much that you're not sleeping, so much that it's like, man, what? Gives you a headache, you get frustrated. I think we all been stuck in that loop before. Identity and ego conflict. For athletes, basketball is not just a game, it's a mirror. That's true. I believe I believe that, I think Steve Kerr said it. He said you play basketball like how you live your life. And I think that's very true. You play basketball how you live your life. Because if you're a type of person that's like, get out of bed late, don't really care about what you eat, don't really care about like putting extra into the sport, you're typically going to be that type of person. Everything is just energy. And how you do, I think it was in a book, or I heard a phrase like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm pretty sure I've read that in a book, many books before. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So it really doesn't even matter about being just a basketball player. It's just who you are as a person in all aspects. But in the aspects of talking about athletes, most athletes' life reflect their game. There are anomalies where there's a lot of players who are just so gifted that it don't matter what they do. They're just good. They can eat bad, they can not do extra work, and they're still gonna come out there and give you 50. That's just some people. But then they lack in other aspects of their life because of that. Just because the field that you're in, someone able to thrive more in that aspect, does not change the habits that they have that may be affecting them in another area. So it's real important to not justify yourself based on what someone else's success is in a certain area. This guy might be better than you in basketball, but you might be better than him in life. He might be an amazing basketball player, but he might be, broke because he can't manage his finances. He might be a gambler. He might just be, that's why you can't really look at nobody else at what they're doing and how you just got to continuously work on yourself and just try to be the best you can be. You really just have to let go of a lot of stuff. Like, you got to let go of, like it says, like the ego of, so what I missed a shot? So what? Your team, really, so what if the team lost? It happens. You're not going to win all the time. There's nothing in life that you're just going to win all the time. If it is, life wouldn't be life for real. Like, so what does it matter if you missed a shot? So what if you didn't have your best game? So what? It reflects who you believe you are. When you win, you feel invincible. When you lose, your identity is threatened. Am I good enough? Did I let my team down? What will people think? Man, forget what people think, man. They're going to hate you regardless. They're going to love you. Love the ones who love you, and just whatever to the ones who don't. Straight up. Whatever to the ones who don't. Because I'm telling you right now, they front runners. They front runners. People only want to, man, people are only going to love you when you're doing good, when you're doing the things for your life. When your team winning and you're doing good, they're going to love you. As soon as one thing go bad, they want to get you up out of here. I got prime example. I'll give you a story. My boy Brandon, right now, who we're playing on the same team right now. We went to another team, big team, so to speak, in Uruguay. The team name is Penarol. Everybody already knows because it's already been documented what happened with his situation. He went to the team. He's averaging about 15 points a game. They're in like third place. They're like, we don't really want him anymore. We didn't think he was going to be like this. We wanted a player that was going to be more, I don't know, they said spicy. I got a message. They said that they want a player that's more spicy. Like, I guess they looking at people on. Even in this career, you would think that teams do their research and they know a player to the T, but then they just look at the highlights and don't really study the game. And on top of that, you take away from a player by not really believing in them, because you bring me here to do what you believe you think I would do, but when I'm having a down moment, you switch up on me. You switch up on me and you just stop believing in me for a few games. Over an 8-month span, you switched up on me for 2 weeks. Imagine if you been with someone working, doing whatever you got to do 8-9 months, and then you had one bad week and like, you know what? It's a wrap for you. Ever since then, the team has been going down. The new players that they've been averaging, both of them is averaging under 10 points. You get what you asked for in this life. And they said that team is like one of the ones who pay the most money, and they've never won a championship ever, or in like 43 years or something like that. And it shows like this type of energy that you're putting out into players, into your situation, and thinking that it's not going to come back and show itself and reveal itself. You can't just throw, like, basically they just try to, let me just throw some money at it, the situation, and see if it gets better. You're taking the humanity out of the players. You can't take humanity out of the humans and expect them to thrive. Identity and ego conflict. For an athlete, basketball is not just a game, it's a mirror. It reflects who you believe you are. When you win, you feel invincible. When you lose, your identity is threatened. Am I good? Did I let my team down? What will people think? Even I'd be like, dang, man. Am I good enough? Did I do what I was supposed to do? And this is from a person that's been playing for over 12, going on 13 years. Won multiple championships, playing on some of the best teams. It's still like, you ask yourself, like, hey, am I good enough? But you gotta have, one thing I do know is in those moments, you gotta have something that's counteracting. You have to be feeding your mind and yourself so much information that overtakes that negative voice in these moments. Like you have to embrace the moments of when things are like not the way that you want them to be. You got to embrace those moments because if you're not, if you can't handle those moments, you're going to find yourself just keep repeating them. Am I good enough? Yes, you're good enough. If you're already playing and you wouldn't be where you are for no reason. So, yes, you're good enough. You know, you didn't let your team down. Like, everybody be having, man, I let the team down. I did. It's a game. Life is a game. You got to learn to love it. You got to learn to love it. You got to learn how to get good at it. Got to learn how to get good at the life game. So just knowing, like, for us, I'm speaking to like athletes or just when you just have that bad performance and you just start questioning yourself. I know after the first game when that happened, I just said, you know what, it doesn't really matter. Like, I know myself. I know the words that I speak to myself. Like my boy Tap Athletics was on. Check him out on IG and YouTube. Tap Athletics. He goes crazy. But he was just talking about a book, and he was talking about I think it was Think and Grow Rich, and they talk about auto-suggestion. And it's basically the words that you repeat to yourself all the time. In your times of doubt or feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like something, what are the words that you continuously repeat to yourself on a day-to-day basis? Or what are the words that you say to yourself are the most important words that you could ever hear? Because you hear yourself talk to yourself more than anybody else in this world. So auto-suggestion of what you're talking and saying to yourself. What are you programming yourself to be in moments? You're going to have terrible moments almost all the time in life because you've allowed yourself to be programmed by something other than what you want it to be. That was a mouthful, and I hope y'all got that. You allow yourself to be programmed by something else other than what you want yourself to be. So when thoughts get too loud and they just get overbearing, you be like, why can't I? And it's just getting overbearing. Well, what have you been doing that you can't? There should be a switch. It should be something to be like, nah, that's not it. But I will say this, if you don't actively work on that, what are the words? Before every single game, I have this recording. It's like a minute long. It's got the what's the Last Dance? The Last Dance documentary. The theme, the beat behind it, the theme song behind it, right? Dario, I'm from Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, but I grew up in Florida. I got this theme song of the Bulls from The Last Dance. And I got like a minute long conversation or just like words that I say to myself. You're gonna play great defense. You and your team are gonna win. You're gonna do everything you can to be great out there. It's just in my own words, just words of affirmation. I'm listening to myself tell myself what I'm going to do. You're gonna play great. You're gonna help your team. You're gonna bring energy. You're gonna play defense. You're gonna put fear into your teammate. You're gonna be great. You're gonna like giving myself the information that I need. I'm hearing myself talk to myself because you have to have those words imprinted in you. So when you feel like I may not, you've told yourself so many times how great you are going to be, and you're building up your own confidence at all times. You got to take control of what you want. Your voice, the voices in your head are going to be the loudest ones that you hear over what anybody ever say. Those voices that you got in your head, You get to decide how you get programmed those voices. I mean, people are like, oh, they're too loud. What are you doing? It's work in all aspects. Like you literally gotta work to hear and program yourself to hear whatever it is that you desire to hear. I know I want to be great. The greatest person, the greatest athlete, the greatest player that I can be. That I can be. So I'm only talking to myself. Doesn't matter how great that person is, that person, you get the max, you get the most value out of the game, out of life, out of whatever it is you put your hands on, because you understand as long as you focus on being the greatest you can be for yourself and you try to live life to your max capability, not someone else's, but your max capability. We play on the next game, I believe, is on Tuesday. The next game we got is on Tuesday. Living life to your maximum capability is the only thing you should focus on, and everything else will follow suit. You will enjoy life way just within a more fulfilling way because you're not letting outside people dictate what you want out of life. As athletes, you dictate how much you get to enjoy the game. Enjoy the process of I get to be here in this moment at this time. Don't take the moments that you have for granted just because you think it's owed to you. It's not owed to you, for real. If you're doing something that you love to do or you're doing something that you want to do, enjoy it. Because it was never promised to you. Being a professional basketball player was never promised to me. So just taking away the joy of even being in this position by focusing on little things like, am I good enough? You wouldn't be there if you weren't good enough. If you want, you to get rid of you. That's just how it works. If you're not good enough, Octa, what's up, brother? If you're not good enough, they will not keep you there. They will not keep you there. Dopamine crash and emotional withdrawal. During a game, your let me say that again. During the game, your brain is flooded with dopamine, the reward chemical. That is true because we're out there hooping. Ain't nothing like out there being hooping. There's no dopamine for a basketball player more than when you just out there hooping, you're hearing the ball bounce, you're hearing that kick, 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 you're hearing those shoes squeak. There's nothing like it. That dopamine hit right there of going and playing in the game and hooping and that free spirited that you feel out there, that's a rush. Every shot, every steal, the crowd going crazy. Whoo, you get chills. You ever get chills when the crowd's just going crazy? Y'all go on a run. You get a stop, get an and one, alley-oop, dunk. It's like right now, it's March, so it's March Madness going on right now. And then you just see just like the energy just be so high. That dopamine you get from just a good basketball game is different. For all hoopers, they know that energy that you get from just hooping is nothing like it. It's nothing like it. Yeah, bro, I play for Keemstar. They in Santiago. That's where I'm at. But when the game ends, especially after a loss, that dopamine is cut off. The sudden drop leads to restlessness, mood swings, and a sense of emptiness. It's similar to withdrawal. Your body was riding a high, and now it's crashing. That's why you can't sleep at night. Because you're a dope fiend. You love dope. Your dope is basketball. You love the game. What Mitch say? I love the game. I love the hustle. I be feeling like one of them ball players, a bird of magic. But if I leave, they still gonna love me, man. That's the high that we be riding. I love the game. I love just the working out. I love just defensive principles and helping line. I love when I see just good basketball. I love the game. I love to be out there just hooping, dunking, catching oops, hitting threes. It's dope fiends. Dope fiends for the rock. Get past the rock. That's the only rock I want, the basketball. So I can just be out there hooping. That freeness that you get from out there hooping, that's why you can't sleep after the games. After loss, because you be too high. You high. You high. You high, bro. You high off basketball, high off life. What a great feeling to be high off life. There's nothing like just being high off life. The highest that you can ever get in your life is high off life. To have a euphoric love for life. A euphoric love for life, and you're just high off life. That's when you know you've reached into a certain point where that's when life becomes, it starts making sense. Once you start understanding all the moments here that you are going through that are happening is for your enjoyment, because it's just based on your perspective. You have the perspective of, I'm gonna like just sulk and be mad in this moment. I'm gonna just be upset that I lost the game and I'm not feeling good and I didn't play well. Or you can have the perspective of saying, you know what a great life that I get to even play the game. And this is a part of the game. If you just won every time, you would become, trust me, winning every single thing, every game, being able to do every step back, being able to make every shot, you wouldn't even play the game. You wouldn't even play the game. It came to me. The prosperity, the purpose of everything that you're doing or that you're doing for the greater and what you want is from the pain that comes from it. I want to say that right. How you feel in the happiness and joy of the things that you want in life, whether it be playing a sport, whether that's a business, whatever that may be, like the goal that you set, the pain that it takes to get it is the reward. Because if you went out and just tried to do whatever it is that you're trying to do and you got it with no struggle, with no ups and downs, with no setbacks, with nothing, you would not enjoy it. It would not mean as much to you. There's nothing like accomplishing something that you've been trying to do for so long and finally doing it. It's all a part of the life experience. It's what makes it so amazing. Because one, you realize it is possible. That feeling of knowing something is possible, going after it, struggling, fighting, grinding, going up, like just going through it all just to try to obtain one goal that you have in your life and then getting it. There is no comparison to how great you feel and what it does. Like, you want more out of life when you just come out of nowhere and you just, I finally got it. After all this time I've been doing, like, I worked, I grind, I sweated, I did all that. I finally got it. Bring tears to your eyes. It brings tears to your eyes because you finally accomplished something that you've been striving for so long. That's all. It wouldn't mean as much if you didn't have to go through that struggle in order to get it. My mom has a saying. She always says, they won't understand your praise because they didn't understand your pain. They will not understand your praise, meaning your joy, your happiness. You ever seen what's the Pursuit of Happiness? Will Smith at the end when he was just outside, just in the middle of everybody, just nobody knows what's going on, but I'm just out here. I got my arms up. I'm in tears. I don't care, because of the pain that he had to endure to be able to get there. You don't get that overwhelming rush of like feelings of gratefulness and happiness and joy without all the pain that that you got to go through. It's just, you don't understand my praise because you don't understand my pain. You don't understand my praise because you don't understand my pain. You don't understand what it took for me to get here. You didn't understand what everybody got their own journey and their own pain that they got to go through in their life. Trying to be cool, Octa. That's why I'm wearing these glasses. Don't I look cool in these glasses? I just wanted to put them on. That's how I do my show sometimes. That's how I do the live sometimes. Appreciate you noticing though. If you want a pair, I got them in China. So I don't know if I can get you a pair, but you can go look them up. Social pressure and fear of judgment. The game does not end at the buzzer. It continues in the locker room, on social media, in conversations, and in your own mind. In your own mind. In your own mind. Players fear criticism from fans, coaches, and teammates. You know what? Hold on. Especially in this era. You do one thing, people are going on comments, they're talking about you. It's out there for everybody to see. I personally don't read the comments. I don't read no comment that when I'm playing for a team and they're like talking about what happened after the game and what the fans said, because it don't matter. It really doesn't matter, because when you try to be negative, it's like, how can I take criticism from someone who doesn't even do what I do? You wouldn't even be able to last 2 minutes in a pro situation, but you sit and criticize the efforts and work of what someone is trying to accomplish. If you are in that field and that's your job or whatever, cool, whatever, do your job. But for me to take in criticism from people who don't even do what I do and let that affect me, that just don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me to even pay attention to what someone who could never even pick up a basketball and do something and let their words be something that I let affect my perspective on what they think. Oh, they don't think I'm good enough. I didn't play good enough, so now they think I'm just. Find your path, and there's always going to be a situation where you're not going to thrive as great as you want to be in every situation. There's going to be times where it's just going to be like, dang, I did not do what I wanted to do in this moment. But that's okay, because I learned from it. I just learned, hey, I didn't kill it this time. Next time, I'm going to kill it. I don't care what people are saying, because you know what? A lot of people who try to get on to you about a decision that you make, they're not able to even have the strength or the audacity to even attempt what you're doing. It's crazy how some people will criticize you for something that you're doing that they don't even have the capacity to even attempt. They can't even fathom coming close to understand how you even do what you do, but they're gonna talk about you about it. because you're not doing it how they want you to do it. Can't pay attention to what people are saying. The conversations that you have in your own mind. That's why, like I said in the book, Think Grow Rich, like Big Deuce was talking about, auto-suggestion is like, the only way you combat that is by the words that you're telling yourself every single day, because that mind is what controls it all. It's the perspective. You could go have a game and shot over 20, 5 turnovers, just play horrible. Just absolutely horrible. But your whole perspective is, you know what? Hey, that happens sometimes. That's a part of life. Laugh it off. I heard somebody saying like laughter is the greatest, like it's whatever we're going through a situation, the ability, I think it's in this book I was reading, it's called The Science of Being. And it was talking about how it's like laughter is used to like get rid of the doubt, get rid of the negative self-talk, the ability to laugh it off. That's our greatest weapon. The ability to laugh at yourself. Like, man, I just had a bad game. Laughing it off, and it'll just literally push those negative thoughts that you have that's racing in your mind all the time. Laughter is one of your greatest weapons. Be able to laugh at yourself in moments and just say, you know what, this is just a learning moment for me. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Every moment in life is here to teach you something. I believe that's the path. You're here to learn something at all times. In every situation that you're going through is there to teach you something. It's there to navigate you in a direction that you have chosen for yourself. So you're like, I say I want this out of life. So you just start going down that road, and then you just got to navigate through it. You're going to go through bumps, turns, get lost, do it, but you just never stop just pushing through, and you're going to get to the other side, get to where you... If you just understand, like, I just got to get better at this, I just got to get better on the path. I just want to know how to get through this path. I just got to figure out my technique. I just got to figure out my way, how I do this, how I go this way. Figure out my way. Figure out my way in this life. And then you just say, you know what, now to the point, it's like a runner. It's like, first you start running maybe a half a mile. Then you start running a quarter mile. And then it's to the point where you get to a point that you don't focus on, man, how many miles I run. You just focus on the running. You're just focusing on the running, and you get in that flow of life. You get into that. I hear that. You get into that flow of life where it ain't even about the miles no more. It's just about the freedom of running. You just get into your freedom of life and just understand that all the stuff that I'm going through is just, that's the gift. That's the best part of it. Navigating and moving through it and finding my rhythm and finding the flow of it and just flowing straight through all that, the whole life. Just going through it, and it's just like I found my rhythm. You ever just felt like you found your rhythm in life? When you find that click and things are just flowing, like, oh, okay, I've been in this situation before, I know how to handle this. And I've been in this situation before, I know how to handle this. And it's like, it ain't really the same. It's like, it's not the situations that are bothering you no more, because you've learned, you've lost, you've went through the situation, you've embraced it, you enjoyed it, you laughed it off, you pushed through. And now it's like, when they come up again, you're just like, you're just bobbing and weaving through. It's like, man, I found my flow. I found my flow. I found my rhythm. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving the rhythm that I'm in. I'm loving the beat that I got going on. Like just rocking, just flowing. When you just get in a flow of life. You know, when you're on the court and you just get into that flow of life, and you just feel free. Just be free out there. Don't be worried about, like, just, that's ego. Worrying so much about status, worrying so much about criticism from yourself. You just gotta let that weight be off your shoulders. The inability to accept what is. Many players struggle to accept reality as it is. The loss should never have happened. The referee should have called that foul. The shot should have gone in. The word should becomes an enemy. That's good. The word should becomes an enemy. It traps the mind in a state of resistance. The resistance leads to stress. Stress leads to overthinking. Overthinking keeps you awake at night. I'm going to read that one more time. Inability to accept what it is. It is what it is sometimes. Most players struggle to accept reality as it is. The loss should never have happened. The referee should have made that call. They cheating us. He was out of bounds. He fouled me. Why coach ain't called timeout? We should have went zone. Why he ain't hedge? Why is he chasing him? Why you ain't helped me on the backside? Man, if I would have just hit that one shot right there, man, he tricked the layup. Man, we missed 5 free throws. And the ball slipped one time. It is what it is. The word should becomes an enemy. It traps the mind in a state of resistance. The resistance leads to stress. Stress leads to overthinking. Overthinking having you laid up in the bed at night, like how Bubba Dove says, trash. Feeling like you're trash. Trash. You feel like you're trash because you're overthinking and you just can't accept reality as it is. You guys accept reality as it is. The faster you accept things in the life, the faster you can move on and go on about them. I learned that from when my father died. One thing I learned in life early is just acceptance for things for it is what it is. And that ain't even in no negative. That ain't even in no negative term. It's just it is what it is. It's just like it's an acceptance of life. It's an acceptance of things that you know that you can't control. And it's more so of just being grateful that you had a chance to experience it. Just live out the human experience and be grateful for everything you get to experience, because I don't know what it was. It was like the odds of us even being here. If you just start just thinking in a bigger spectrum, we're on a rock in the middle of nowhere and amongst billions and billions and billions of other planets and solar systems and black holes and all this stuff. And we're sitting here stressing ourselves out about what you should have done in the game before. Here's some things that we can do to overcome the sleepiness or just trying to help this out. Take a cold shower. Physically, they say, okay, here's some things that we can do to help, because we've been talking about all the stuff you go through. Here's a couple of solutions. Physically reset the body. Take a cold shower to lower your body temperature. I think you should do this every single day regardless of what happens. You should be taking a cold shower at the end of each day. I'm a big cold shower taker. A cold shower taker. You should be taking a cold shower. Reset the body. Take a cold shower to lower the body's temperature. You got to physically lower your body temperature so you can be able to just calm down. Cool out. That's why I say cool out. You got to put some ice on you. You got to put something cold on you to just cool out. Do deep breathing exercises, slow inhales, slow exhales. I know it be sounding kind of, sí, yo puedo hablar en español, pero vivo me voy a hablar en inglés por ahora. Pero a veces yo puedo hablar en español si yo tengo más gente que quiere hablar conmigo o pregúntame algo. Obvio, yo puedo hablar en español. Sí. Yo puedo a veces. No es mi primer idioma, pero yo... No voy a volver a hacer Me voy a hablar en inglés. Me voy a volver a hablar en inglés. Un día me voy a solo hablar en español. Un día me voy a solo hablar en español para toda la gente en Sudamérica, quien no entiende inglés. Yo vivo en Estados Unidos. Obvio, yo habla inglés primero. Pero ahora estoy en Argentina. Es su país y me voy a compartir con ustedes y hablar en su idioma. Back to what I was saying. Do deep breathing exercise. Slow inhales, slow exhales. Something that I do is called, I think it's called the box breathing. You breathe in 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds. Do that 4 times. It's a box treatment. Breathe in 4 seconds, deep breath. You do that 4 times. I just did that and that made me feel better already. Let's get one more of those in. Sometimes the issues that we have in life is we're just not breathing deep enough. Sometimes you just gotta get deep. Sometimes you just gotta breathe deep in life. You are a connection to everything in life. You are breath, you are water, you are flow. Take time to tap into that. Stretch. Ooh, I need to stretch right now. Stretch or do light yoga to relax and tense the muscles. I got my yoga mat, I got my stretching board. That's what I need to do. See? That's why we're having this right now, because you got stretching the body. Control mental replays. When you catch yourself replaying the game, tell yourself it's over. I have no control over the past. Yes, I do meditate. I meditate in the mornings. The mornings is where I meditate. So my morning routine is I get up and I pray first. I pray first before I leave the bed. I pray for like 10 minutes. Then I go get my yoga mat and I do yoga and I listen to like inspirational, I listen to like my motivation, I listen to my like praise music, gospel music in the morning, and I'm praying and I'm talking to God, because it's different forms of meditation. There's the stillness meditation, and then there's like we're saying, yoga and active, where I'm listening and I'm talking, and then I'm also stretching. I'm doing my yoga in the morning while I'm praying and I'm talking. When I'm done with the stretching, I sit there and I meditate again, like without moving, in my last yoga position. And I sit there for about maybe, after that I put on my affirmations. So back to what I was saying, I have my own self affirmations of me talking to myself, because the voice that you hear the most is your own voice. So I make a recording of my own voice and have it on repeat, because you are going to listen to your voice more than any other voice. You're going to listen to your voice more than any other voice. So I have my own affirmations that I just have on repeat for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just meditating on the day. I'm breathing. I give myself like a good 20 minutes to just be still. 10 minutes, whatever. I try to keep it lasts. Now, all that process probably lasts me between 30 to 45 minutes. Some days 30 minutes, some days 40 minutes. It's just if you're doing it. I don't try to just overcomplicate it and say like, every single day. Now, in the beginning, I was like that. When I first started diving into meditation and focusing on the meditation and doing all that, I was so strict. I was up 5:30. I did it for this moment. For 10 minutes, I had a timer. I was just so strict, and that takes, for me, took away from the whole purpose of what I was doing. I was being so strict. It worked out in a good way because then I built up the habit into where I needed, like that's a part of my routine of every day. Like if I go more than 2 days without just meditating and like doing that, I feel weird. If I'm not stretching, it makes me feel weird. I feel off. I feel off when I'm not meditating and I'm not stretching and just like getting in. It starts my day. It's like it's a part of. So being strict and being hard on not even say hard, but just being very disciplined and just saying, okay, at this time on this day, it helped me build a habit. It helped me build that habit. So yeah, I do meditate. I pray, I meditate, and I do yoga early in the morning. That's my morning routine. Pray, meditate, yoga, meditate again. It's like affirmations. After that, I try to get up and I write down. It's all about your self-programming. There is no end to it. There is no rush to it. There is no end game. A lot of time it may feel like I gotta get to be able to this point. Just focus on that day. I'm just gonna meditate today. That's it. I'm just gonna focus on today. I'm gonna focus on this moment. I'm just gonna 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it just becomes you start tapping into the flow of life. You start seeking out that internal work, because that's all it is. Internal work is those conversations that you're having with yourself. You start to really understand what it is that you're saying to yourself, and then you get to a point now that you are controlling that. You have the say in what you want yourself to believe and what you want yourself to see and what you want yourself to think of. That's what I get out of meditation. I get a deeper connection with myself. I understand. You start to understand yourself. The more I believe there's a saying. It's like know thyself. But if we don't take that time to know thyself, you should be knowing that is probably one of the most important things you can do for yourself, for humanity, for society, is to know yourself better than anybody. You should be trying to figure out who you are in connection to everything. It's a self-driven purpose of life. It's your mission to yourself in life to know who you are to the fullest. And that's a journey, and that it doesn't happen by accident. It does not happen by accident. Knowing thyself, finding out what makes you who you are. It takes work. It takes every time people say like it takes work to do something, they feel like it got to be something negative. No, enjoy the work. Enjoy it. I believe I guess for me, I live in America, and it's like people just are so scared. They're just like so comfortable of just not want to put in no kind of work and effort into what they're doing. I'm not that person. I love to put in work and effort. You can't be afraid of obtaining what you say that you want because it requires you to do some work. Learn to enjoy and learn to fall in love that I get to go through something and I got a new goal. I get a new goal. We are goal-driven beings. Our life is fulfilled when we are striving for a goal. I think it's a book I just recommended to my boy Big Deuce, Psycho-Cybernetics, and it says that it was talking about that how we are goal-driven beings and how, like a bicycle, if you ride a bike and get off and it's going because it's completing its goal, its objective, it will just stay riding on its own. If you get a motorcycle and you ride it and you get off and let it keep going at that speed, It's completing its objective. It will keep going. It will keep going. That is us. That is us. And don't run away from the work. Don't run away from the work. Look, that's all I got for this live. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I like the way it was going. I said I want to be going to do more lives. I just got to be more active. Being a player, doing all these ups and downs, going back and forth. I just got to make time for, come on here and chop it up and just give the perspective of Arnold's thoughts. Man, that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all another time. Y'all have a great, great day. Stay blessed. Till next time.